In this video, I'm sharing a story about a mine-protected vehicle that I drove briefly during the Rhodesian Bush War in 1977. It was called the Leopard, designed in 1974 by Ernest Conchal. It was conceptually, at least, arguably the first vehicle of its kind. Vehicles such as the Leopard were developed in response to the particular nature of the Bush War. Dirt roads in rural areas were frequently mined with anti-tank mines, presenting a constant danger. The Leopard was used mainly by civilians, particularly farmers, although it was also operated by the police and the Department of Internal Affairs. Mechanically, it was built using VW combi front and rear subassemblies and drivetrain, powered by a 1,600 cubic centimeter air-cooled engine, the same as fitted to VW Beetles of the period. The design was both simple and ingenious. The front and rear subassemblies were positioned well away from the armor-plated passenger cab. The underside of the cab was V-shaped so that if the vehicle struck a landmine, the force of the explosion would be deflected away from the occupants. Each subassembly was attached to the cab by 4 shear bolts. The theory was that when a mine exploded beneath one of the wheels, the affected subassembly would be blown away rather than the entire vehicle being thrown violently into the air. Provided the Leopard was being driven slowly, it would then simply roll over. The occupants would be protected by the roll cage, the armored cab, and of course the fact that they were securely strapped into their seats. The fuel tank was positioned right at the back of the vehicle behind the engine. No prizes for guessing why. It is said that 800 Leopards were built, and 67 of those hit landmines, resulting in the death of only 1 person. So they were obviously very effective. I was, for a time, commander of a protected village northeast of Mount Darwin. On one occasion, I had to drive into Mount Darwin to collect supplies and have the Leopard serviced. As luck would have it, the vehicle was not ready until late in the day. So I asked my commanding officer whether I could remain in Mount Darwin overnight. He refused. And so, shortly before sunset, I began the hour-long journey back to the protected village. I reasoned that at that time of the day, it was likely that any landmines laid the previous night would have been cleared. I therefore decided to drive as fast as possible, hoping that speed would also make me a more difficult target in the event of an ambush. On the way back, I managed to ramp the Leopard a couple of times, actually getting all 4 wheels off the ground. It was fun. But after the second occasion, changing gears had become extremely difficult. Fortunately, I made it back to the protected village. The following morning, in daylight, I inspected the vehicle and discovered what had happened. As a result of my hard driving, 2 of the 4 rear shear bolts had done precisely what they had been designed to do. They had sheared. The vehicle had begun to sag in the middle, deforming the gear linkages. It makes an interesting story now, but when I look back on it, I realize just how fortunate I was to have survived.